Yesterday and the day before, we had RA Congress for Royal Ambassadors. And we took how many boys? Seven? Seven boys. And Don and David and Daryl was there to help as well. My wife Ashley did the food, and so did Laura Pinson. And if I left anybody out, that was Isaac. Isaac wanted to be left out. He specifically told me during Sunday school he wanted to be left out, but he helped with the basketball hot shot and everything. Everything was a mess as we loaded up the trailer and everything, loaded up my car with all my paperwork. My paperwork is somewhere, but we raised over $500 for the North American Mission Board. That was our mission. 526.75. And we had more than 120 boys registered. That's about a third larger than last year. So I'm extremely happy about that. We had several new churches. We had 21 churches represented. And we had a missionary who is a church planter at Warrensburg. His name is Bruce Vaughn. He's in our association. We'll have to get him here sometime. He's a really energetic guy. We had Pickpocket Gene, all the way from Odessa, Missouri. And actually, he is a big deal because he could have made a lot of money somewhere else this weekend. But he was very good, and he is a Christian. And he was happy to get the opportunity to tell kids about Jesus through some of his magic tricks, his illusions and things. And you should have seen this one boy. Gene stuffed that handkerchief down into his hand, and when the boy didn't notice that he had laid it right across that boy's shoulder. And he said, now was that handkerchief still in there? And the whole crowd could see that handkerchief on that poor boy's shoulder, but that boy didn't know it was there. So when he opened his hand, the boy was shocked, but nobody in the crowd, everybody knew it was just laying there on his shoulder. It was something else. But we talked about at the end, how can you get to heaven? He had a bunch of boys up there with signs. Will this get you to heaven? Will doing good things, even to keeping the commandments, will that do it? No. And for that final sign, and somehow he knew which one it was. He put a marker on it. He had someone else pick a random number, and he put a marker on that. Somehow that turned out to be the one with Jesus on it. Jesus gets you to heaven. So, anyways, we had a grand time, and I wanted to give anyone an opportunity to share about what happened.
David, Don, and Bonnie.
What was the boys' favorite thing? What was your favorite thing?
Yeah.
Step up to the mic and say what your favorite thing was.
You walked out first. I have a loud voice, everyone can hear me.
So we took 7 boys. We gained one as we got down there. The pastor from Chilhowie brought his young man, and so he went with us. Obviously, he was a volunteer for Travis, so we gained him. So we had 8 boys, and the boys did really good. A lot of them placed in archery, a lot of them placed in hang glider, a lot of them placed in boats, cars. We had softball throws, football throws. They had to build a fire, cut wood, tie knots. So it was 4 hours of basically, we walked until we all become so cold we couldn't stand it. So then I went and got the bus, and then we drove to each event, so which was a lot nicer that way. So it was cold enough yesterday. It was it was like 43 degrees, I think, and the boys' hands got so cold we were having issues getting stuff
30
done.
knots of wind.
Yeah, with 40 knots of wind. But the boys did good. We placed and everything. The good thing is, obviously, Travis said that we had enough people this year. We didn't get to finish every event because there was lines were very long, which is a good thing. That means there's a lot of kids there. So we did very good. The boys did very good. I was proud of them all. We had a lot of fun. We stayed the night in a motel. We did some talking, obviously, with our group. Don with his group. We enjoyed it. So ate cold pizza and drank a lot of juice pockets and water. So yeah. So.
Cold pizza. Can I say?
All right, Colby, what was your favorite thing?
Nope. You might go first.
My favorite thing was archery.
Archery, and you got a ribbon in it, didn't you?
Yeah, first place.
Yep, all the boys compete.
Second year in a row.
Yep, they compete with boys in their own grade.
I am
So
not
he
going
beat all the
that.
other 5th graders, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he had the highest archery score of anybody there. When he took hold of that bow, the first 2 were like bullseyes. The next 2 were in the ring right outside the bullseye.
2 bullseyes, 2 8s, and 1 6.
And the older folks running it looked at that, and their eyes kind of opened and said, well, that's a winner. And
That's a winner.
we'd had a group up there just before us that looked like they were shooting competitive archery. They had nice patterns, but they weren't patterned on the bullseye. And so he aced it. Jacob went with us.
Yep.
Linda Kaler's nephew or something like that, Jacob. And when he went to Campcraft, which is where they
Tie knots, light fires, and saw through logs.
okay, you have to tie 3 knots, and he went up there and it's timed. He did an overhand square knot, clove hitch, 28 seconds. He did that, and they said, well, that's a record. And so he did that. Well, then to light a fire, they have to go over and whittle out some chips, a couple of chips, pour them out, and then light a match to it and get a fire going good enough to burn a string about 3 inches above the sticks. It's actually about 4 or 5 inches high. And so I told him, I says, the wind's blowing from that direction. I says, here, you're standing right in front of me. I said, light the backside so it blows up. Well, he hit just the right chip, because as soon as he touched the match to it, it went and burnt the string, and it was like 5 seconds from the time the guy said go.
That's right.
And then he went to saw the wood, and he had to saw through a 2x4 with a tree saw, and I think it was 11 seconds he did that. And so he won the overall on that too. So the boys did great, and you want to talk now or not?
No.
Okay.
I'm just
He's
thinking-
bashful now. He wasn't bashful any
No.
time there, so anyhow.
Hey, I got 11 seconds too.
Yeah.
Say that to the
okay.
microphone, buddy.
Yeah, we had a great time. And
Yep.
it's a great experience. It's a great thing for boys, and hats off to Travis and Ashley, especially for setting up the whole thing. I mean, Travis is in charge of the whole ball of wax, and that's a lot of people to manage, a lot of effort to get done. So,
Go.
thank you.
I would just like to, we have great help with RA Congress. I inherited great help with RA Congress, and there's excitement all over the state for men's ministry. And so I don't have to say it 10 times. I'm wearing, it's short. I know you're not supposed to wear a tie this short, but it's a macrame tie made by a retired missionary. He came home from the field in Mexico and got involved with his dad volunteering for RAs, and so he had camp staff Windermere t-shirts from RA camp years ago, and he gave me a bunch of stuff, and one of the things was a macrame tie that he made, and I guess RAs used to sell an old bolo tie, and so that's worked into there too, so it's got the symbol on there. But anyways, be praying for the RA program. We're the only thing we've got for laymen in Missouri, really, as far as the Missouri Baptist Convention goes. So be praying for what the future might hold for RAs and men and challengers and all that kind of stuff. Thank you.
Brother Travis, you are the,
And I am the state consultant for where it's part of my job to help get more chapters going in Missouri. I don't take a lot of time off from here to do that. I really just run RA Congress, and then the connections we make at RA Congress usually result in churches wanting to try RAs, and they can ask me about the curriculum, and I just spend a little bit answering questions about curriculum. But once they get going, man, these men want to be doing something with the boys, and so they usually just pick it up themselves and run with it. That's what I do.